What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me in my dreams. And when life gets challenging, I need a bank that's focused on what matters. Not to mention one that's been top rated by Forbes in trust, customer service, financial advice, and more. That's why when it comes to meeting my banking needs, it's always NBT. Learn more at nbtbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome, and thanks for tuning in. This is Tom Hickey from 2020 Media, and you are listening to NBT Bank's On the Scene podcast, reaching over 250,000 readers of weha.com, the Jewish Ledger, and West Hartford Magazine, live 24/7, 365. Thank you for joining us and for listening and remembering to support NBT Bank in all that they do in all of our communities throughout Connecticut. Without our sponsor, NBT Bank, there would be no podcast. Before we talk to introduce our guest today, I'd like to first say hello and welcome my co-host, Bob Carr. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Tom. How are you today?
Great, thanks.
So Tom Hickey, along with myself, Kaushik Bakati, and Ronnie Newton, is a founder and a partner in weha.com. Tom brings to West Hartford the Connecticut Jewish Ledger, West Hartford Magazine, which is West Hartford's original lifestyle magazine.
Thank you.
The best of West Hartford, which recently celebrated its 10th anniversary, and other fun events throughout the year. Our podcast is assembled and posted by the Modern Observer Group in Middletown, Connecticut. And today our guests are Laura Sheehan and Jeffrey Sheehan from Capital Classics and the Greater Hartford Shakespeare Festival. So good morning to both Jeffrey and Laura. And again, we had you on last year prior to The Taming of the Shrew and Hamlet were your two shows last year. And this year, I did look this up. It's Twelfth Night in King Lear. And I think we went over this before, but are the same actors doing in both performances?
Well, thank you for having us. Some are and some aren't. We are now in the process of starting the casting. And the goal is to have as many actors do both shows as we possibly can. And that's what we did last year. The majority of the actors did both shows. And it was a trip. It really was fun from an actor's perspective. So we want to offer that to as many people as we can. But it depends on casting needs and schedules. But I think the majority will.
Gotcha.
We both are. So we're looking forward to it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's the next question was going to be, because I recalled that. And then, as an actor, when you're doing stage versus doing like television, right? You can't go back and fix it, and then how do you since you guys are professionals here, how do you keep that straight between each of the two roles that you'll be playing?
Well, I was going to say, Bob, unlike our podcast where we just keep recording and we just correct each other. Can't quite do that on stage. So.
It's the old simple answer of how many hours of rehearsal. I mean, feels like hundreds and hundreds of hours, but with each production, even with the same cast, you're creating a world. So we'd go to the theater, and sometimes we'd be show A and then show B. Like we'd be doing Hamlet one day, Taming of the Shrew the next, and we'd get to the theater and we're getting ready, and I'm like, okay, see somebody in the hallway, you are like a bad guy to me this time. You're mean, Eddie, or like yesterday, you're fun, Eddie. And so you create a whole world that kind of comes packaged with you as soon as you get in those costumes and characters. And, it's a lot of prepping throughout the day. Like, okay, remember I'm doing, show B and I'm going to get on this track, and getting it in your mind and in your body and preparing. But it really comes from the ensemble.
And I'll find out this year how that all works, because I did not do that last year because I was directing Hamlet. But I remember distinctly one of the actors in one of the Q&As that we had done with the audience, and where that question was asked similarly. And she said that she found that they really help inform each other, but that moving from a tragedy like we will with King Lear this year into a comedy of Twelfth Night really kind of rejuvenates your energy and your spirit, and refreshes you when you get to step in a world that is more silly and playful and comedic in that regard. And its conflicts and obstacles are not life-threatening, so that the shifting back and forth, as Laura said, the two worlds are so distinctly different because of the way we select the plays. We intentionally select something more dramatic and something more comedic. So it'll be interesting. I look forward to the challenge, that's for sure.
I think when we would step into the comedy, it would always be a relief. It's lighter, and it's like, oh, this is going to be easier, but it's no easier. I mean, comedy is just as hard play as tragedy. But like Geoff said, the emotional stakes aren't so high, and you can vent your emotions differently in a comedy. So it's more of a relief.
This is probably a very naive question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I don't know the answer. How do you find the cast? Is there like a casting call and people come to you, or do you seek out people that or how does that work?
Actually, one of our mission, one of the statements in our mission statement is to provide opportunities for Connecticut-based theater artists. So we really look within our state first, and we have a core group of people that changes every several years that has worked with us in the past, and we reach out to them first to see if they're available and interested. This year we have two directors who are new to us, Brian Jennings and Sasha Bratt. So even though folks have worked with us in the past, for the most part, they're going to come and show who they are and what they can do for these new directors. But we kind of start with folks that we've worked with in the past, get their interest level. Some who committed to the company are, okay, you're definitely going to do it, but we're going to let the directors decide what roles you play. And so there's that communication and conversation ongoing. And then we expand it. We reach out to a lot of the college theater training programs in the state, send them our notice. There's a lot of Facebook pages these days for actors in Connecticut that we promote on, and then we take an ad out in an industry online website called backstage.com. But we're very clear in that we're really looking for Connecticut-based actors. So there may be some who are in New York, but whose family still lives in Connecticut, and they'll be able to participate more easily. So, and then we hold auditions, and we go from there. We start making offers and see who says yes.
So this podcast is really an opportunity for anybody who is listening to contact you, you guys, or go to Capital Classics, Capital with an AL, capitalclassics.org, and just say, hey, I'm interested. I'd like to audition.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Yes, the audition notice is posted on our website as well. Yep.
Wonderful. Great.
So at this point, we'll have some roles precast, roles that might be harder to piece together. We'll have some things precast, but then we go into it pretty open and see who's there and who wants to do what. And it always works out. And I think that commitment to Connecticut theater artists, it really comes from, a lot of Connecticut artists and actors, they'll leave and do summer stock elsewhere. And I always thought, why not? We had to do that. Why not keep them here and provide them with an opportunity for our own community to enjoy?
Yeah. Where do they stay when they come here? Like you're on the university campus, do they stay there, or is that not?
They mostly will have their own housing, although we house as many as we can fit. We have a fairly large house with a couple extra bedrooms now that our children have moved on. So we'll fit who's coming in from New York. We'll see what we could do. We'll ask people to help.
That took care of that larger closet or that spa, right?
I'm telling you, that's not going to happen.
They might have to share the couch with one of the dogs, but that's part of the.
That was the old days. We'd like square off one of the living rooms, let somebody stay there. But now we actually have 2 guest bedrooms. So
yeah.
So actually, we didn't discuss this last time. And again, you both were on previously last year before the last performance. Jeffrey, how did you get into not only acting? What is it that you do now? What do you do for a living besides your?
Sure. Well, I'm a theater professor and the program coordinator of theater at Connecticut. It's now Connecticut State Community College on the Housatonic campus in Bridgeport. And I've been there for 26 years now. It was hard to start the theater program there. There wasn't one in the Connecticut Community College system. So that was my charge when I started there, was to develop the curriculum and build a degree program in theater, which I'm proud to say is still going and is really the kind of foundation block for the statewide. Now that we are a statewide community college, it is the foundation stone for the theater program that exists statewide now. So that's been a good run. And so I got into, Laura and I met in drama school at UConn, and still together now 40 years later. I've raised 4 kids and doing what we do. And our theater company is now heading into its 34th year of existence. So that's been quite a run as well. So I'm very blessed to be able to merge the things that I value in life in terms of theater and artistry and how that can deepen and strengthen who we are. And give us some contributions to the world in a way that we value and get paid for it at the same time. So that's been a wonderful, wonderful gift to our lives for sure.
Absolutely.
And Laura, I know we're at the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce. We'll get a little plug in there. I've seen you there several times. What is it you're doing in West Hartford?
Well, I'm a happy member of the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce. Was there last night at the after hours, which is always fun. And I represent the theater company, Capital Classics, at the Chamber. I do have a day job, which is my partner Keith Knowles and I have a firm that markets for higher education. So we do recruitment, digital marketing, and view books, and it's a lot of fun for colleges and universities really all over the country.
Very cool. Very cool.
I didn't know that. See, you learn something new every day. I didn't know about the professor, and I didn't know about that. And I think I know everything. And Bob, if you don't mind me, I would love to encourage people. We've never had the privilege, really, of being able to say this before, to go back to episode 19, which was when Geoff and Laura were on last year, just prior to the Shakespeare Summer Festival, talking. I think it will answer a lot of the basic questions, that we haven't really covered, yet. But certainly it's only 23 minutes. You can easily do it, on a commute, or as I say, with a glass of wine, whatever it would be. So I encourage everyone to tune in. Episode 19, you can find that anywhere that you look for podcasts, by looking for NBT Banks on the Scene, right, Bob?
Exactly right. And also on the bottom of the WeHa page, WeHa page, we have a list of all the episodes we've run. But yes, glad you mentioned episode 19.
Where will you find West Hartford's best and most comprehensive business news? At WeHa.com. Subscribe to the WeHa.com newsletter Business Buzz for free every Monday at WeHa.com. Log on to we-ha.com. We have it all in West Hartford.
I had a question. We talked about Shakespeare quite a bit the last time, and I just had a follow up a little bit on that. There's, as far as I know, again, I'm not anywhere near an expert, and I thank the Capital Classics for getting me more interested in Shakespeare, because before I went to your performances, I probably would not have stayed awake, and I guarantee I wouldn't have. So there's comedy, tragedy, and histories, and you mostly stick with the tragedies and the comedies. Or is there something else I'm missing?
No, we've done some history in the past. Richard, one of the Richards, which was really fun. And we're always talking about, honestly, there's so many good ones. Like we're always talking about doing the Henrys. Julius Caesar really read differently to me this year in light of the political climate. So, you make more and more connections. Since we decided to go to 2 shows a season, and this is our second year doing that, picking a comedy and a tragedy is kind of a nice way to start. But as we develop it more, there might be a third play that's a contemporary play about Shakespeare, or we'll be able to take more risks and do a history with a comedy or do a history cycle. That comes after really cultivating your audience. The comedies sell. They always outsell, even the big tragedies. People just want to come and have fun, and they're real fun to do. And no matter what we pick, we can't go wrong. Like we sit around every year, well, what do we want to do? What do we write for this year? Where are we in the season of our lives as a community and as a culture and as individuals, and what would fit that? What would inspire something? And there's just, you can't lose. You just can't.
What would be good about like the Henry IV parts 1 and 2, a lot of companies take that arc of a story and put them together into one and trim it all.
A mashup of Henrys.
And what's great about the Henry IV ones is it's historic. So there's all that work going on. I should say it's based on history, because there's some poetic license or dramatic license taken by Shakespeare in those plays. But it's got that arc going on. Then it's got battles, and it's got fun possibilities for staging fights and things like that. But then there's the character of Falstaff throughout the whole arc of the parts. And he's absolutely a comedic character. He is so funny and fun to watch and fun to engage with. So that particular two plays there has both things involved in it. So I think that's why it's a pretty popular one for.
Well, can I just say one thing that's really superior about Falstaff is he's the kind of person, there's so much frailty to him that he doesn't know about. You know, his ego and his needs are so obvious that we look at him and we laugh at him and we laugh with him. It used to be the type of character we laugh at, but now it's the type of person we elect to office. So that's funny.
I just wanted to, Tom usually does the plugs. He did one earlier. He's very smooth, capitalclassics.org. He mentioned it earlier, but the events are this upcoming season is July 9th through August
3rd.
August 3rd? Okay.
Yep. 3rd.
All right. Wednesday through Sunday, correct?
Correct.
Yes. We have evening shows Wednesday through Saturday start at 7:30, and we have what would be a matinee on Sunday, but we bumped it back because of the hot sun, because nobody wants to sit in the sun at 2:30 that direct. So our Sunday matinees are at 5:30. So they'll end around, 6:30, 7:30. So
and I remember last year when we were talking too that microphones, were new because the crowd was getting, larger.
That
so how
was
all that
such a great win. Like we were so against microphones because the way they used to function, where you get all that ambient noise, you can't tell which actor is speaking, but they worked really, I would say, flawlessly, and we're very happy with them. So, and I know the audience is too.
Yeah, the audience really appreciated it. And especially as we've really grown exponentially the last few years, now you can really sit anywhere in the garden at St. Joe's, and you don't have to turn up your listening. You can hear it really.
Yeah, because we've had audiences go fill up the space and move past the sidewalk, and that before the microphones, that would be a problem. So that really has worked well.
Great, beautiful. Excellent. Are there any big changes you're implementing this summer, or pretty much status quo? Who knows?
Last year was successful in so many ways. And again, we've done this for 34 years. After each year, we say, okay, what did we learn? What could we do better? And so we keep looking to do that. And so we did that self-assessment, but a lot of things were very successful. So we'll continue with the pre-show concerts and performances.
And vendors, expanding that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the vendors. That's right.
The concessions will be back. And that was a big hit with a lot of our audience who didn't feel like packing up a picnic and bringing it. There was food and snacks and drinks there for them, which was great.
We have fun merchandise, which was very popular. Merchandise was fun, like little Hamlet shot glasses or skulls or T-shirts, all kinds of stuff.
Some fun things this year to do with that as well. Keeping the microphones, keeping the two shows, keeping the schedule and the calendar, and alternating on a daily basis which show is which. So it was a little bit of tweak to how the shows were perform. Now we just take turns each day. Boom, 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 boom. So that's just a small tweak to it. But I think one of the exciting things about this coming year is the two directors who we're working with this year, who've not worked with us before, but one of them, Brian Jennings, we've known for decades. He worked with us as an actor when we did some radio theater back in the day. And we've wanted him for a long time to work with us as a director because of his approach, his vision, his creativity, and his care for the humanity of the people that he works with. Really aligns with our approach to theater as well. And so things finally fell into place for his availability. And then Sasha Bratt is well known around the area. He's directed in many, as a matter of fact, tonight we're going to see a play he directed at Seven Angels Theater out in Waterbury called The Wedding Binder, written by Jacques Lamar, who many people in Connecticut know who Jacques is. So Sasha I've gotten to know over the last couple of years because he too is a professor and program coordinator at the Naugatuck Valley Waterbury campus in the community college system for theater. So we're excited to bring some fresh ideas and energies to the experience. It gives me a chance to tackle doing two shows at once.
Yeah. You know, one of the things I was just thinking of, Geoff, too, was, and I'm putting on my chamber marketing hat, you know, right now, but you know, maybe there could be something with the chamber or the Bishop's Corner Neighborhood Association or something where we could bring the directors. I don't know if they would come to you know, an after hours or something, you know, whatever, like a meet and greet and get to know them.
Well, hold on
and
that,
let them
Tom,
talk.
because I was talking to Chris at the chamber yesterday about hosting one of the after hours in July with the show.
Oh, nice.
So
look
that's in between President Rona Free and Capital Classics and the chamber. We're all going to have conversations, but that was our good conversation last night.
Wow, so you're thinking right, Tom. You're thinking
there
right.
There you go. That's why Chris and I get along.
Yeah. Ideas. Yeah, super excited about that. One thing I wanted to say.
Well, let's incorporate the Bishop's Corner neighborhood group into that as well, because
would love to.
It's so low. That'd be great. Yeah,
would love to.
There's a plug for networking, right? So people, people often wonder, it's still from the tangent here, but why networking events matter, why networking, going business after hours, or joining a chamber of commerce, or being in a neighborhood association matters, is that these are the kind of ideas it comes into your head, and the person standing right there, and you pop that note right back out to them. So that's
and I have to say, a plug to the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce. That has been just a godsend for me personally, and for the company, to connect with people who are so caring and so invested and so supportive, and have those ideas, because we all know good art, good business, it's about relationships. You know, it's human to human connections. And that really is an outstanding place to build connections in business and art.
Well, not to embarrass you, Bob, but you know, the four of us wouldn't have gotten together if it wasn't for you. So I mean, that's, you know, so
thank you.
And for another plug, NBT Bank is one of our sponsors.
Yes,
for
NBT.
Oh, well, right, there we go. See?
And they are our bank for the theater company.
That's right.
Yep. Very, very happy.
I'm telling you, right, Bob? We crack up every time we have somebody on. It seems there's some connection to NBT Bank already. It's amazing.
Well, that is.
I hope they're listening. I hope they're listening.
Well, they're very people driven. You know, it's a different type of banking scenario when you walk into that branch and you meet the people there. There's a real connection to each other, and you can.
They remember you. And honestly, it was the connection made at the chamber events that made us move our banking to NBT.
Yep. Meeting Victor.
Victor's the best.
Yeah.
Victor, for our 10th anniversary for Best of West Hartford, Victor was just one of our dancers for the Dancing with the Stars local
I bet he's good.
We did. He was hysterical. He had bright pink shoes on. I remember that.
That's so great.
Great.
We'll have to put him on stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, one thing I wanted to just add about our casting that's always been important to us since the beginning has been that we have, you know, a group of actors that really represent our community in terms of diversity, of age, of culture, of race. And so, you know, we might break from the realistic look of a relationship. A father-daughter might be two different races. Doesn't matter, because what we want is, you know, and that's very typical of Shakespeare. People do this a lot, but we really want our company on stage to represent our community. And so we really work very, very hard to create a good, diverse ensemble of performers and technicians and musicians and artists.
And it's much more reflective of our contemporary world. Having a mixed family is not an anomaly anymore. Yeah. It is not a mystery. It is not something to stop and wonder about. It is,
and it adds depth to the show.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
I think we had a little bit last year where our Petruchio and Taming of the Shrew, Eddie is Puerto Rican, and he really brought that flavor into the character in some of its most comic moments, and it worked so beautifully. And people would come up afterwards and be like, I never thought I could connect with Shakespeare. I never thought I could understand it. But he just moved between the two worlds. So having that, you know, as an actor, that freedom to try things and the support. If it doesn't work, we'll address it. But, you know, to bring yourself to your performance in a way that serves the show.
Yeah,
that's great. Well, thank you for getting that last plug in there. Believe it or not, we are already out of time. But now,
oh my God,
that's how quickly it goes by. But what we do request of all of our listeners is to please, after listening to us here, make sure you listen to episode 19 as well, because it's well worth hearing the history, of Capital Classics and how it all came to be, and most importantly, it's very important for everyone to buy tickets and this summer to get out and support local art and have that beautiful sort of, as I referred to it in episode 19, that local Tanglewood experience, right at University of St. Joseph's, and enjoy a little bit of Shakespeare on the scene. Anything to add, Bob? Or are we good to go?
I think we're good to go. So thank you again, Jeffrey and Laura, for being here, and looking forward to seeing you this summer at capitalclassics.org. Go look online and check out the shows.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Thanks, Bob.
Great, thanks.
What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me in my dreams. And when life gets challenging, I need a bank that's focused on what matters. Not to mention one that's been top-rated by Forbes in trust, customer service, financial advice, and more. That's why when it comes to meeting my banking needs, it's always NBT. Learn more at nbtbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.